Anyway, so part 2, aka the Batwoman episode, because each episode is technically part of every
different
show.
Different show.
So
right.
Sarah Kate and Kara are having a drink, or at least Sarah's having a drink. The other two are like, oh.
Like, wait, why is Kara drinking? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The multiverse is dying. Kara's having trouble giving, she's devastated because her entire planet is gone. They said in the previous episode that due to their efforts, out of this over 7 billion people on Earth 38, they were able to save 3 billion out of the 7 billion. And 1 billion of them was thanks to Oliver sticking around. So Oliver going out, saving. But anyway, so they're talking, and they need the Wave Rider. But Sarah says, it's probably not a good idea because I promised my team we wouldn't do another crossover.
Which is a great callback joke from like the previous season of like how they didn't like the way that the legends were used in the crossovers. Yeah. Which I thought was great. I was like, that's awesome.
They weren't in Elseworlds, and they even made a note of that in like one of the Legends episodes, and they were like, we should have been in the crossover.
They would have helped us out if we were in the crossover. Yeah.
So so for just because of that joke, they like, we can't use the Wave Rider, so they go to Earth 74, where on that Earth where the Legends have all retired. They've broken up the team, but Mick still lives on the Wave Rider. He's used it as his house basically. And for whatever
Leo's the computer.
Yeah, Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, is the voice of the computer.
Gideon!
Fucking
figured it out.
The Wave Rider computer woman. Anyway, so Harbinger goes there and it's like, we need the Wave Rider to save the universe. Blah 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 blah. We've got beer, and he's like,
what kind of beer? No, you had me at beer.
Yeah. So I mean, I love how they fit Captain Cold in this, even though he's like there, but he's not there. Because Wentworth Miller, who plays Captain Cold, I loved Captain Cold.
He was such a good character.
Yeah, I was so it was nice how when the sacrifice he did at the end of Legends season 1, but I want him back so much. I mean, I wish good things for Wentworth Miller going forward in his career and all that stuff, but Captain Cold was just a solid character. He had that little bit of that right amount of camp because that's not what Wentworth Miller sounds like, like Leonard Snart, Master Thief. That's not the way he sounds like, but he pulls it off so well. He's got that charm. There's like a compilation of like his best lines somewhere on YouTube. And
when he showed up on the Flash, I was like, this is really fucking well done.
Oh yeah,
I really really enjoyed it.
Oh god, we miss you. Anyway, so they got the Wave Rider and they bring it back to Earth 1. Everyone's talking. The Monitor's giving a little speech about how, everything's gotten pretty shitty, but then baby Superman's crying. And they keep passing baby Superman from person to person. He won't stop crying. But they put him in till he gets to Mick, and the baby's like, chill now, which is, funny. So in this part is where the Monitor reveals that, okay, so things didn't go so well on Earth 38. One might say they went badly.
One might say they went apocalyptic.
Yeah. Anyone's messed up. And then he brings up that we have another chance to take care of this. Apparently, he went back in time real quick to get the Book of Destiny. So in the Book of Destiny is back,
right?
And in the Book of Destiny it says there are these 7 heroes from across the multiverse, the 7 paragons. Each one's representing a different virtue, and if we can assemble these 7 heroes, we can defeat the Anti-Monitor. And he establishes right off the bat that we already know who 2 of the Paragons are, and they're right here. That Sarah Lance, the White Canary, is the Paragon of Destiny, which, as Ray says, it makes sense. Time-traveling captain hero. Also the fact that she was the one who held the Spear of Destiny in Season 2 of Legends.
She also died and came back to life and got her soul returned to her body. So she's kind of got a lot of shit going on.
And Kara, a.k.a. Supergirl, is the Paragon of Hope, which I'm sure there were some people on the internet who got pissed off about that because they're like, no, Superman's hope. I could feel it the second they said it on the show. I don't care.
Honestly, I was fine with that, though.
Because here's the thing. As much as we were talking during our Part 1 discussion of Part 1 of Crisis, as much as we love Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, Supergirl is the star of her own show right now. Yeah. She's a headliner in the Arrowverse right now. Superman is technically he's a supporting character, a very supporting character that's been mistreated.
He's a strong feature.
Yeah,
he's a strong feature. For comedy terms.
But anyway, so
he's a very good. But that's the thing is like, I like that they're playing that up and they're kind of giving the strength of Superman to being this great support character, right? Like before he gets his own thing, Where I think, again, the way they're setting up Tyler Hoechlin's character, he might end up being like a very strong support character for Jonathan Kent's adventures.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're playing a good job with that.
Yeah, no, I think things are going pretty well for Tyler Hoechlin Superman this crossover. There's a couple things I know some people were upset about. Like, I think some people didn't like how in part 1, how when they were charging the tower with their heat vision, he gave out first before Supergirl. I know some people were like, oh, another example of them making Supergirl look too cooler than Superman. But I'll say something about that. I'm okay with that because they established that he was on Argo City for months where there's no yellow sun. And I just chalked that up to be he just got back to Earth. His powers probably aren't completely up to full yet. So that's why I'm going to chalk that up to.
That part I kind of didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it doesn't seem to be really doing anything anyway. So it doesn't really seem hyper significant. Mm. But yeah, you're right. I think that's a very good explanation of that. I know there's a bunch of people that are probably like the second I saw that scene, I was like, yeah, people are gonna be pissed about this.
So anyway, things continue, and Kara is just still devastated over destruction of Earth 38, obviously. But then Lex Luthor returns. The Monitor brought him back to life to serve some kind of purpose in this, and Kara is way pissed off because, like, wait, I lost my whole planet.
And this motherfucker's back?
Yeah. Batwoman comes in, she's like, I'm Batwoman, fuck you. And then, he's like, you're mean to my only friend I have on this entire ship. Fuck you, But it's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah. I just don't think she's a very good actress.
Yeah.
I felt like...
Ruby Rose, she brings no life to the Batwoman character. There's been moments in this crossover where I feel like she's been a little better. And the interactions with Kara are helping, but at the same time, I'm still not going to go back and watch Batwoman.
There isn't a lot of like emotionality behind the stuff that she's saying. It's just these very like robotic, like hyper stoic way of delivering the lines, and it's just like have any personality you want, right? Like, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but to me, it's like, look, Batman's a pretty stoic character, but fucking Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, they all kind of gave his character some kind of life while still being stoic enough.
Totally.
Where I feel like Ruby Rose is not doing that. Ruby Rose is her name.
Ruby Rose, correct,
Ruby Rose is not, like, she's not doing any, like, she's not giving it any personalty at all. Yeah. And that could be from the direction.
It could be. Because I actually liked her.
I don't know.
I actually liked her somewhat when she was she premiered her in the Elseworlds crossover.
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't like didn't blow me away, but I was like, you've got my interest. You've got my interest.
You piqued something.
Right.
My interest has been piqued.
Yeah. So we have to go find. Moving on, we have to go find the other Paragons because we only know 2, and we know what a couple other ones are. One is the Paragon of Truth. One is the Paragon of Courage. And they have to go find them. We know the Paragon of Truth is somebody who has gone through more than any mortal man could possibly, take. So they figure it's probably a Superman from one of the other Earths. They know it's not the Tyler Hoechlin Superman, so we go find. And the other one is the clue the Book of Destiny gave. It is the Bat of the Future. So they figure it's Batman, but they don't know
which one.
Yeah. So they figure it's from one of the other so they figure it's from the Earth where it's the future. So they go to Earth 99, Kara and Kate. They go to Wayne Manor. It's in shambles. And they knock on the door. Who answers? It's Luke, the supporting character from Batwoman, but he's not a nerd. He's a ripped... yeah. The shirt's completely open. He's ripped. He's like, what do you want? He's like, he's not nerdy at all. It's like Luke Fox.
I don't understand why they did that. Like, when that happened, I was just like, what's the point of him being, like, this kind of ripped... Like,
it's just so Kara can be like, wow, he's like really cute, and so Batman would be like, no, my nerdy guy who builds my machines for me can't be cute. Knock, 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 knock. Like they have that little joke in there. It's just a jab.
I don't know.
It's just a jab. So anyway, right. He won't let them in. Supergirl literally kicks the door so down. Hard it explodes, which I know it's Supergirl, but pretty sure the door would just swing the fuck open really hard.
Yeah.
That's me applying physics to a superhero world. Anyway, so they go in, and Luke's now got a gun, and he's like, I will shoot you, and like Kara's ready to catch the bullet or whatever. But then you hear like, don't be so rude, Luke, and like, and then coming downstairs in the classic Batman voice that he does is Kevin Conroy as Batman. Old Batman, he's wearing an exosuit, and it's just so cool to see Kevin Conroy playing live action Batman, right?
Yeah, and he does like the old Batman Beyond voice.
Yeah, he's into it, man. He is into it. And it's just
so good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I'm sure he's undoubtedly done the voice at conventions and like interviews and stuff. But this is for a show. This is for something. So it's so cool. So anyway, him and Kate go off to have a talk, and he's like, "You can't be my Kate because my Kate died 5 years ago." And she's like, so she explains the whole multiverse anti-monitor thing to him like off screen, but then we come back. We're going a little bit out of order here, but we're just gonna get this whole Batman thing out of the way.
Yeah, we could just chunk by chunk.
But then he admits oh, you think I'm a paragon of courage, like some multiversal hero? And he shows her a newspaper, and apparently before he retired as Batman, he started killing people.
Yeah,
and she's like,
kind of went a little loopy.
Yeah. Like my Bruce had a code, and he's like, oh, we all start out with the code. Yeah. And then we shoot, and then like he takes her down to the Batcave, and he's showing her stuff. Meanwhile, Kara is with Luke, and there's a little trophy case in one of the rooms of all the stuff. A broken Riddler cane. We got a bloody playing card from the Joker. But then she sees a broken, bloody pair of glasses.
And that's the key to being like, oh no, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, he killed the Superman of his universe.
And then what? Because then Luke goes, well, how do you think he got into that exosuit?
Yeah,
which is like, holy shit. So Superman is the one that broke his back, but he probably had enough kryptonite
to finish him off.
Yeah. So which is like, oh, what the fuck?
Right. So Kara goes down to the Batcave where Kate and Bruce are to confront him. And and Kate's like, wait, what? You killed Superman? And he's like, strange visitor from another world, blah blah blah. Like I had to do it, blah. And Kara's like ready to whoop his ass. She's already in her Supergirl outfit. She got off her civilian clothes. She's got the cape. She's got the ensemble. She's about to like knock his block off, and then boom, he punches her way back. And it turns out his exosuit has kryptonite deposits in it, and he's about to kill fucking Kara. And Kate gets in his way and fights him back, and with only a couple of hits, knocks him into a transformer, and he gets electrocuted to death.
Which was crazy.
Crazy. So let's talk about this, because I know a lot of people online are really fucking upset. Because here's the thing. So we knew Kevin Conroy was going to be, we knew he's going to be wearing the exosuit, because it's a reference to Kingdom Come Batman.
Yeah.
But no one expected to, like, this is going to be an evil version of Batman, and not only evil, he's going to die. How do you feel about it? Because I know a lot of people who are Batman fans, or more specifically Kevin Conroy fans, they're really pissed about this online. How are you feeling about this?
I'm okay with it. I felt okay about it because the way they kind of set him up was, it was already kind of weird. The whole situation was already kind of weird, right? Like, and he was, and he's just like now turned into this paranoid old man that's in this exosuit, living alone in a mansion, being helped by this shirtless fella, like, but it's just like all of that kind of played in, and it played in very well. Where I think once he figured out who Supergirl was, he was just like, oh, this is my moment to take down another super person, and like pull myself back into the limelight or something, right? Because I think not only were they like visitors from another world, they were visitors from another universe and another time. So how would they understand this thing? So like playing into that paranoia, I think it made total sense. And I also think that that whole thing was kind of meant to, once again, kind of like how Superman propped up Supergirl. I think defeating this Batman kind of props up Batwoman.
Yeah.
But the difference is, I don't think Batwoman in her show, maybe I'm wrong because I'm not particularly watching a whole lot of it, it doesn't seem like she has the same problem as Supergirl did in her first season. Or maybe she does, and this is sort of the way that they're kind of addressing that with the crossover event. You know what I mean? Like, how do I step out of the shadow of this thing for myself more than for the public eye? Let's just, like defeating this Batman would do it. But to me, it made sense. Kevin Conroy, fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
He was great.
He was awesome.
He played that character so well. But honestly, like, I don't think I was expecting it to be, animated Batman done in real life. I was expecting it to be something different. and they delivered, and they delivered really fucking well.
Oh, yeah. If they established this Earth was the live action version of his animated Batman, I'd be pissed at all hell. But no, this is just another universe.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I don't mind Batman being evil in a different universe.
Yeah.
They've done it in the comics. So just in the past couple of years, they did the Dark Knight Metal thing.
Dark Knight's Metal, where they did the Dark Universes and everything. Yeah. So they've addressed it before, and that's the thing. That's kind of what I thought they were kind of mildly referencing was some of the Dark Knight's Metal thing.
Yeah.
Is it just takes one Batman to kind of knock, the rest of the timeline and the rest of the multiverse to create these things. It's just kind of the point of it. But yeah, I thought I have no problem. What did you think about it?
Like I said, I'm fine with it. I think some people might be upset because they did it in the Kingdom Come style with the exosuit.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it now. If they'd done it where like on Earth 1, Batwoman's home universe, where if that Batman goes evil, I mean, if they do that eventually show where he goes evil or something, that would upset me because that's supposed to be the main Batman of our Arrowverse.
Right.
But this is just another Batman, another world. It was great seeing Kevin Conroy. I really did enjoy it.
And with how well he did, like that might be like a fun little cameo to come back for Batwoman, for the rest of the Arrow team. To kind of, because they've all kind of referenced Batman and thought that he was like a spooky legend or something like that, which is kind of what they do in New 52 with Batman. So I think with how well he did, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these little cameos here and there with Kevin Conroy. I'd be fucking jazzed about it if they did that.
So I really don't have a problem with it the way it went down. I thought it was a nice little interesting twist because, we've seen plenty of examples in comics of like, well, what if there was an evil Superman, or what if Superman, like we had Injustice, they not evil, but you had the Red Sun Superman who's not American and patriotic. So that's a little. We were like, well, what if Superman wasn't Superman? What if he did? What if he was morally corrupt, or his values were against ours? One way or another. So I'm okay with exploring that kind of Batman, especially since with Crisis on Infinite Earths and using the multiverse to our advantage, we can make some other Batman go evil, and we can still maintain our core Batman, even though the core Batman has not been introduced into the Arrowverse yet.
Who else would be a really fun fucking cameo to make the core Batman?
What?
Will Friedle. He played Terry McGinnis in the Batman Beyond
yeah. And he was
That'd
on
be
Boy
a fun
Meets World.
cameo.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'd be a fun cameo.
It'd be hilarious if he turned out to be the core Batman. Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a great twist, and it out of all three parts, this was like one of three big surprise moments for me.
Yeah.
Where I watched that part and I was like, holy shit. Like, bigger than Arrow dying in the first part, I felt like that moment where this Earth's Bruce Wayne is evil and murders people all the time, that was like a bigger twist than anything else. Because to me, like, the whole thing with Oliver dying in the first part, I was like, no, that's fucking no. You're gonna bring him back somehow.
Oh yeah, he's coming back. Even after that part one got released, they showed images of him in scenes that were not in part one.
Right, and it's like he's not fucking dead. But so that's why I was like, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. And once that happened, I was like, this was cool. I'm in. I'm like now more engaged with this thing.
Totally. So. Also going on in that episode, they kind of went back and forth in the episode.
Yes,
but I just wanted to get through the Batman part. I want to save this one for after. So we see Lois and Clark go to find the Paragon of Truth. Now, but also what's happening is Lex Luthor stole the Book of Destiny, and he's using that and a portal device to go throughout the multiverse and kill all the Supermans of all the various universes. And on one Earth, they find out he's actually killed at least one other Superman. So
they do the Doomsday thing.
Yeah. The rubble and the cape on the stick. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
They did it really well with that.
Yeah. So they're bouncing around universe trying to stay ahead of Lex Luthor. Iris West, the Flash's wife, she joins them.
Yeah.
And they go to the Smallville universe, and we see Tom Welling on the Kent farm chopping some wood.
Yes.
And they're trying to tell him like, the multiverse is in danger. Lex Luthor's trying to kill you. And he's like, Lex Luthor's trying to kill me. I didn't know the president was in town, which is a reference to Smallville because at the end they were like, oh, he was running for the president. And it turns out he became the president.
Which in a couple different comic book stories, Lex Luthor does become the president.
I'm aware of it, so yeah.
Which I was like, that's a nice a nice Easter egg right there for us.
Because they set that up in season 1 of Smallville when they had that old lady who could see the future by touching you. She saw Lex becoming the president and like the Earth being blood rain coming down on the Earth because he became the president. And then they bring it up again at the very end of the show where it's like he's running.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was cool. We didn't get to see Michael Rosenbaum come back as Lex Luthor. They did. It was on a website that I don't use anymore called WeGotThisCovered.com. They said that he was going to be in the crossover. This is several months ago. And then Michael Rosenbaum went on his Twitter and was like, does somebody know something I don't?
Michael Rosenbaum is also the voice of
the Flash.
Wally West Flash in Justice League.
Yeah.
So that would be a cool thing.
Also, yeah,
if they would have done that.
Like they go in a different universe and he's the Wally, and he's like, "You're not black."
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, and he did do a follow up on Michael Rosenbaum when people wanted to keep asking, like, so did they even ask you? And he said, they approached me, a manager, and we asked, okay, what's the story? When do you need me? How much money? They didn't give him any information. They didn't tell him what role he's going to play in the story. They were keeping Crisis on Infinite so tight that he was like, I just said pass because they didn't give me anything to go off of. So that's the whole thing with that. Going back, so we see Tom Welling. It's great to see Tom Welling back as Superman on TV. And so they try to warn him, and then boom, Lex comes in with the Book of Destiny. He makes Lois Clark and Iris flash out of there. And he's like, he's coming out like, you'll always be my greatest enemy. And at first he doesn't really believe it's Lex because it doesn't look like his. It doesn't
look like his Lex. Yeah.
Well, he's like, this Book of Destiny. There's this one little part which is a reference to the comics where the Book of Destiny, not only told me you're Superman, but it told me that Superman and Clark Kent on this Earth are the same person. That Clark Kent is Superman. He said, on my Earth, that would be ridiculous because Clark can't even see behind his glasses, which is a reference to the comics when Lex Luthor created a supercomputer to find out who Superman's identity is, and the supercomputer said it's Clark Kent, but Lex in his ego was like, No, there's no way. He couldn't have been fooling me all these years. This fucking computer's broke. Hammer. No, I'm just kidding. Right. So that's a nice little reference where he's not even like, can you still not see it? Even though you just made Clark Kent of your own universe zap out of there. Can you not see what's going on? But anyway, so Lex pulls out that little bit of kryptonite and he shoves it in his face and Tom Welling's Superman's just like he picks it up and he's like, toss. And he's like, he's like, what the fuck? That was kryptonite. And he's like, yep, and it would affect me if I still had my powers.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would you do that? You were a god. And he steps on a little toy and he realizes like, oh, you gave up your superpowers because you had kids. Which I have mixed feelings about this.
Okay.
How do you feel? You got something to say.
I was going to ask you about that. I thought, what a beautiful way to handle that. I never saw Smallville. I'll preface it with that. I've never seen Smallville. I probably will watch the show, especially after this. I feel like, but it was such a beautiful moment, and it kind of goes back to part one. And the bummer about it is, I wish Tyler Hoechlin's Superman got to interact more with Tom Welling.
Right.
And because Tom Welling did the thing that Tyler Hoechlin's Superman was worried about from the first part, right? So when I saw that, I was like, this is the thing. This is what Tyler Hoechlin's Superman wants that he can't have yet. Because Tom Welling's Superman probably had to go through a bunch of shit before he arrived at that conclusion and was like, you know what? I want to be here for my family. I want to live a nice, quiet, simple life.
I feel like they're going to make a tie-in comic to explain all of it. I feel like they'll probably do
Well, they did season 11 as a comic book,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, I've heard about that.
So, and again, I don't know, unfortunately, don't know enough about that to make to bring that into the conversation.
Well, neither do I.
But that was such a beautiful moment to be like, it can be done. But I think he has to go through enough to make sure that he can do it. And I really, really enjoyed that part. And what was kind of great about it was he threw away the kryptonite.
Yeah, just shook it.
Yep. So he ended up probably like saving a bunch of Superman's lives.
Yeah.
which was cool. I thought like he kind of played a big role in that.
And he punched Lex in the face.
He did punch Lex in the face.
Did punch Lex in the face.
Fucking beautiful moment right there.
But by the way, before we get forward, John Cryer as Lex Luthor, do you like him? I love him.
I love him.
I think he's great. Yeah, he was. We both stayed so far going through part 1, part 2 of this crisis. Neither one of us are a big fan of the Supergirl show, which I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't like it because I actually like the cast. I think the show has a good cast.
The cast is great.
Yeah, the cast is like Melissa Benoist, awesome. As I said in my review for the current season of Supergirl, she's fucking amazing. She recently came out as being a survivor of domestic abuse, and that takes some fucking
balls,
ovaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well.
Yeah.
You said it better than I.
Yeah. But yeah. So I wish, but yeah. Anyway.
The writing is just a little too over the top.
Yeah, but John Cryer was the best part of last season. Obviously. Yeah. He was just so great. Anyway.
He's a great like just classically evil Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I think I love him. I think he's fantastic. I'm hoping he's going to be a big part of the Superman and Lois TV show that's going to be coming out. I'm hoping. Anyway, so what I like and kind of dislike, I'll go by what I like. So
yes,
he says, I like how the fact that he beats Lex Luthor by being a normal man.
Yeah,
because he basically defeats him before Lex even shows up because Lex decides not to kill him because like he says he took all the fun out of it. There's no challenge for Lex. He defeats Lex by being a normal man with a wife and kids. That's a mortal man defeats Lex Luthor just by being boring for Lex. So and it is touching.
Great.
Yeah, it is touching that he gave up being a superhero for his kids, that he wanted to be a father first. And I get that. But at the same time, I'm sure there's a lot of Smallville fans who I used to watch Smallville. I never finished watching Smallville. I kind of fell out, I think around season 6 or 7, I want to say.
There's 9 or 10?
11. There's 11 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Or 10 or 11 seasons.
10 or,
yeah.
It's a long time to be in the air.
Yeah, did show for a whole decade. If it wasn't for the success of Smallville, I don't think the Arrowverse would have happened.
I agree with that.
So, but after 10 seasons of development for him to become Superman, because he only puts the suit on in the very last episode, and even in that, you never see him like in full like view, like full frame in the suit. You see him like open up the shirt, or you see like the cape flapping, that kind of stuff. But after all that, for him to just like not be Superman, it's kind of weird because the upcoming Superman show is going to be about Superman being a superhero and a father at the same time. So. It's touching. It's good. I do have a problem with the idea of him giving up his powers. It feels weird to me. I'm going to say that it feels weird to me. But at the same time, I do like the fact it's touching. He gave up his powers for his family. And once again, he beats Lex Luthor by being a normal man.
Just being a normal dude.
Yeah, it's fun. So it's like I'm mixed feelings about it. But because I watched each one. I told you, sir, I watched each part of the crisis, and then I watched each part again to take notes. And on second viewing and giving thoughts about it, like, I do kind of like it. I'm sure a lot of people want to see him suit up, but at the same time, I'm not surprised he didn't suit up because him not being Superman was not a part of Smallville.
We do have 2 more parts to go.
We do, yeah.
We don't know if he's going to play a bigger role in that.
No, we do know. We do know because of how part 3 ends.
Oh.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
I took notes. Anyway, so anyway, moving on. Once again, we're kind of out of order in part 2 at this point, but I just we smudge them together.
We go to
so we go
finally go to the universe.
Yeah, we go to no, which Earth did they say it was?
Oh yeah, because it has a specific number associated with it. That's probably an Easter egg.
Yeah. Earth. No. Anyways, so they go to
Do you remember what Earth this was?
I wrote it down. I got so many notes; it's lost in the notes. Earth 96. Earth 96 Metropolis. Yeah.
Okay. Which is that? Is that the year the Kingdom Come was written?
Well, I think maybe it was. Yeah, it was a mid-90s thing.
Yeah.
So yes, you got it. He got it. So they go to remember this universe is the Superman movies universe, the Christopher Reeve universe, because Superman Returns, where Brandon Routh plays Superman, that is supposed to be a continuation of those movies.
Right? Because he leaves for a while or something.
He leaves because Krypton might still exist somewhere, but it turns out it doesn't. Yeah, so he comes back.
Okay.
And that was part of like the theme where like Superman hadn't been in movies for years, so Superman's been gone. He's coming back. That was part of like the But anyway, so they go there. They're at the Daily Planet. They're trying to find the Clark of that world, and they bump into Clark, and it's Brandon Routh,
Yay!
who plays the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow, but he was Superman. Now he's back as that Superman, and now he's running the Daily Planet. He's the editor, and him and the Lois of Earth 38 have this little moment where he's like, you look so familiar to me. Like, the Superman music plays in the background, like the soft part of it. So anyway, they tell him hey, we need to talk to you, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. I'm like, here's my card. You can talk to my secretary. And he's like, no, it's about Lex Luthor. They go to his office, and he's like, hey, I've dealt with Lex before. And then they're like, things are different now. The multiverse, boom, antimatter wave, things are getting destroyed. Right. Lex is popping from universe to universe, killing Superman. And he's like, we know that sounds crazy. And he's like, hey, that's the least craziest thing I've probably ever heard in all my years. And then he super speeds, and boom, he puts on the Kingdom Come Superman suit, which I think Brandon Routh looks awesome in that suit.
So good.
He looks so good. They released promotional photos of it a few months ago. I put them on, the P.O. Vincent Instagram and whatnot. He looks fantastic.
He's got the shorts.
Yeah, that's
the first.
They're keeping it classic.
Suit. Yeah,
it's the first live action super suit in a while that put the underwear on it, which everyone always craps on the underwear. I can go when it comes to Superman suit. I can go with underwear, without underwear. But the reason why they're on it is because Superman's suit was modeled off the old strongmen from the circus back in the days. Mm-hmm. That's why it's supposed to be a strongman suit. So when Superman was created back in the 40s, people got it. People got the design of the suit. Nowadays, the underwear...
It's a little confusing.
It's a little confusing, but some people are still very loyal to the underwear, oddly enough. So much so that even after Superman got a second new super suit in the DC Rebirth series, eventually he just went back to his old suit.
Because everyone was like, fuck this shit!
Yeah. It was a good-looking suit, by the way. I like the new suit. But anyway, so he's in that, and oh my God, he looks so good in the suit.
He looks great.
And then Tyler Hoechlin zoop, comes in, and he's in his suit, and they're like, let's go save the universe. But then Lex pops in, uses the Book of Destiny to take control of, we will just call him Kingdom Come Superman to keep it simple. Yeah. We'll call him a KC, as I have him in my notes. KC gets his mind controlled. Next thing we know, we have two Supermans fighting. Oh, it was epic. It was great. It was short, but it was
so much better than fucking Zack Snyder's fight where two Supermen fight. It was so much better. It was way more epic. It was done better. Yeah. I was so excited. When I saw that, I was like, oh no, are they going to destroy Metropolis? Yeah.
And they do the same. There's that one point where they go flying out and they punch each other, then their fists meet and it sends out a shockwave and knocks out the glass on two large buildings from a block away. So that's the CG.
You can show the magnitude of his power without actually collapsing a city for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Right, because he's mind controlled. Kingdom Come's mind controlled. He's trying to kill the Earth 38 Superman.
So he's going full.
The CGI could have been a little better. I'll say that. The CGI could have been better. I know it's the Arrowverse and it's TV CGI. Usually the CGI in the Arrowverse shows is decent for a TV show. But this one, it felt a little lacking. But no, it was good. It was definitely better than the fight between Superman and Black Suit Superman in the Elseworlds crossover. That fight sucked ass.
That fight was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was kind of lame.
Because Superman only got one good hit on Black Suited Superman before he got the upper hand, and from that point on, he was kicking Superman's ass. It made him look like a bitch. And after
it's that's you have the same fucking power.
Yeah. And after that, nice little quippy start where he Superman pops in, Black Suited Superman. He's like, what? And Superman's like, nice suit. And it was that was a nice little line. And then they go into the fight, and then he gets his ass kicked.
I was just that's lame. You guys didn't use this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bad. So anyway.
But with this fight, I was just thank you. What a great friggin' fight scene.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lois knocks out Lex Luthor.
Right.
And then her and Iris get the book, and they're trying to use it to free Kingdom Come Superman. And they remind him of his friends and his family and truth and love and all that good Superman-y stuff. And he's able to break the control. Him and Superman, they shake hands, and then they get on with it. Now, the only other thing to talk about in this episode is that Mia has decided that she is going to use the Lazarus Pit to bring back Oliver.
Which I figured I didn't know what they were going to do, but I totally forgot about the Lazarus Pit until they just talked about it.
Anyway, so they bring in Constantine, which I love that they bring in Constantine. I think he's a really good.
Great.
Yeah. He's got to use his magic because all the Lazarus pits on Earth 1 were destroyed by Thea, Oliver's sister, aka Speedy. And so he uses his magic to find an Earth where they still got at least one good pit. And as he's like doing his magic, it's like a magical hologram of remaining Earths. And as he's like looking through them, one just dissolves away. But the antimatter wave's still out there, taking out other universes.
Other universes and stuff. That was a nice little detail.
Yeah. It says remind you, shit's still happening. So they go to Earth. Whatever. They go to one on Earth.
Earth Lazarus Pit.
18. It's Earth 18. There it is. Earth 18, where they find this old mine that has a Lazarus Pit left in it.
Right.
Constantine and Barry portal back to grab Oliver's body while Mia and Sarah get the pit ready. And the Jonah Hex of that universe shows up without like a face scar and anything. And he's very pervy, and he tries to like say, "This is my mind. If you want to use it, you gotta jump on my saddle."
That wasn't the line, was it?
No, that wasn't the line. That's just me being an idiot. That went over so much better than I could have hoped for.
I was like, wait, what the fuck? When did he fucking say that shit?
No, he just said that.
Say that.
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, he just says we can make an arrangement as he pervily caresses Mia's face.
Yeah. Oh, that part was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was so creepy.
Yeah, because it's not the Jonah Hex that we've met on Legends. It's just that universe counterpart.
He's just a weird, creepy pervo that's like lonely and sad.
Yeah. So they kick his ass. They put a scar on his face. He runs off. Eventually, Constantine and Barry come back. They lower Oliver's dead body into the Lazarus Pit. Surprise! It works. He comes out and he's rage filled. But then they trank him out. He goes down, and then they try to perform the ritual to give his soul back. So he's just some crazy killer man. And Constantine's like, the antimatter wave that's wrecking the multiverse. This is affecting my magic. I'm out of magic. Oh, so he can't. He can't perform the ritual. Let me talk about this. I understand Mia wanting to use the Lazarus Pit. Sarah is against it at first for a brief moment, and then she's pro Lazarus Pit, which she shouldn't be after what's happened to both her and Speedy.
Yeah,
and also Flash is pro Lazarus Pit, which pisses me off because his whole character journey for the first half of his current season has about him learning to accept death.
I think he's freaking out because it's like real.
I know it's freaking him out, but it's like they're superheroes.
Well, because remember he learns that Oliver made a deal that he was going to sacrifice himself. But at this point, Barry still knows that he has to sacrifice himself too, so he doesn't want Oliver's death to be like in vain. So I think that's part of the reason why he's like freaking out a little bit.
I guess so. I don't know. That's part just like, once again, Mia, you can kind of extend it to Sarah if you want, but I don't know. I get the character's motivations. I just think that really goes against what Barry has gone through in the season. Him accepting this. His main villain was a guy that wanted to like pervert life to keep it going. Bloodwork.
Just completely.
I mean, they get chastised in the next episode by Diggle, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But it still was like, well, it kind of pissed me off.
I got your complaint about
anyway.
it. I felt I didn't feel too strongly this or that about Barry's, excitement about using. I think he just wanted his friend back to be a part of this thing. Like, I felt like it was one of those moments where it was just like, this is not the way that Oliver's supposed to go out. Also, he fucking made a deal, and this is bullshit. Like, so it just, I don't know if it completely null and voided the first half of Flash's season.
Right.
I think it's just like he's getting desperate and scared, and he doesn't know what to do without Arrow. But eventually it's going to come down to that point of like, you're going to have to figure out how to move forward without essentially your best friend and your mentor, right? Like, so
'cause,
I get it.
because the Green Arrow, and I don't make this comparison lightly. He is the Iron Man of this whole franchise. He started with him. His end is coming up, but things will continue without him at the same time.
Right.
Anyway, so part 2 ends with throughout the episode, Harbinger Lila has been having like these headaches, and she's been hearing voices in her head, and then boom, she gets teleported off the Wave Rider. She's in some hallway. And we finally get to meet in the flesh the Anti-Monitor. Yes. And a lot of people were confused because they already released an image of him, what he was going to look like. A lot of people were confused because he didn't look nothing like he does in the original comic Crisis on Infinite Earths. The version of him that they've gone with for this live action thing is more in tune with what he currently looks like in the comics. They gave him a makeover, so apparently he looks more like that in the comics now. Because the original one, he looks like this big armored like.
He looks like a. You remember those creatures in Tremors?
Yeah.
The cinema Tremors, if you guys are familiar with the Kevin Bacon movie Tremors.
It's
a great movie, but he looks like one of those creatures, but like in a bunch of space armor. In the comic books, like the original Anti-Monitor kind of looks like that, where it's just like a worm body jammed into like a fucking spacesuit.
It's got like these weird like teeth, like it doesn't.
Yeah, and then he looks even worse. There in the comic book, there's a point where he gets a yellow ring because like the Anti-Monitor strikes fear.
Yeah.
He looks so much worse with the yellow ring.
Yeah. So they went with his current version. I guess that would have been too much of a costume or whatever, or CGI.
I don't know. I feel like he just kind of looks like a darker Monitor.
Yeah. All right.
I was fine with it.
Oh yeah. I'm okay with it because if they went with it being like a giant or whatever, then we can't be like, it's less when you have like your main character fighting someone who's like around the same size as them. It makes the fight more personal. If you just see all the heroes flying or running around this giant, it makes it's like it's fun, but it's not as personal. There's gonna be a personal fight at the end.
Dude, you know who we haven't brought up at all?
Who?
Pariah Wells.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, because Pariah Wells shows up.
Yeah.
At the very first, again, this kind of speaks to the randomness of part 1.
Yeah.
When Oliver dies, and then this Harbinger thing, he pops up in again.
Yeah. So Tom Cavanaugh, this season he's playing Nash Wells, who's kind of like more of an Indiana Jones type of guy. Wells.
Yeah.
And he was searching for the Monitor the whole time. Turns out he's the one who released the Anti-Monitor, and to punish him for helping him out, the Anti-Monitor.
No, to punish him for doubting who he was.
Doubting. Yes, I apologize.
He's gonna his punishment is to bear witness to
the destruction of all existence.
Which is a cool twist on what they're doing. What the Pariah character actually was in the comic.
In the comics, he was just some scientist that was bouncing around between universes, right?
Yeah, he was trying to harness like the life force of the universe or some shit like that, and then he's the one that alerts the Anti-Monitor from his negative universe to the positive universe, and then he wants to assimilate and destroy the positive universe. Right. So it's the Pariah's fault that it happens because of his experimentation and his curiosity. So what they did with the character, I really like. It's a really interesting twist on that.
Yeah, it's good. And we know we got more with this version of Wells to come because he's in the second half, going to be in the second half season of Flash.
Yeah.
And there's like more information because one of the things is as Pariah, the Anti-Monitor stole his memory, so he's aware of who he is, but he can't remember things from his past.
Yes, yeah, which is again very interesting.
Yes. So anyway, hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream over on Facebook. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe and check out some more videos.